The internet killed Asians, and I'm going to tell you why. Asian culture has been a huge worldwide phenomenon these days, with K-pop ruling the music industry, Squid Game shattering viewing records, and Asian media like C-dramas and animes are getting much more popular. This has prompted Gen Z to adopt many elements of Asian culture, ranging from fashion and beauty, from language and customs. But the true question here is, does this lead to true appreciation or stereotyping or idealization? Asian entertainment is a window to cultural explorations. More and more individuals are learning languages such as Japanese, Mandarin, and Korean, and much more people are eating Asian food and learning the cultural practices of people of Asia. South Korea's entertainment industry and music industry is reported to earn billions, according to Statista. Global popularity of these industries also translates to economic prosperity. Asian beauty standards have also gained immense popularity around the world. Korean skincare has been stocking up American shelves, and Japanese hair care lines now sit at Costco. This testifies how deeply Asian self-care has infiltrated our international beauty norms. But this is where it gets complicated. Many fans view Asian culture through a filtered lens, idolizing K-pop stars, romanticizing Japanese and Chinese high school life, or just assuming all Asian culture is identical with the same values and traditions. This can lead to stereotypes like all Asian cultures being futuristic utopias, or everyone lives a strict, disciplined lifestyle seen in dramas. With the rise of Asian beauty, there has spawned this bizarre trend, RCTA, which is basically where people think they can turn Asian with using makeup, fashion, and subliminals. And subliminals are basically hidden messages that influence you to believe that you can change your appearance. The dismissal of other cultures. With the rise of Korean culture, some cultures get put on a pedestal while others are overlooked. Chinese culture, for example, often faces xenophobia and gets differently treated than the hype around South Korean culture and Japanese culture. Southeast Asian communities get it even worse, being seen as less desirable than other Asian cultures. This bias is reflected in internet culture. For example, the Kevin Win meme. This started out as a joke about how this name was so prevalent in Vietnamese culture and how common it is, but immediately it turned into this cliche that every Vietnamese man is a hypermasculine, angry guy. What started as a harmless joke ended up feeding to negative stereotypes, portraying that Vietnamese men are hyper-aggressive and dangerous people. This is actually a perfect example on how something as simple like a meme can actually reinforce cultural biases and reinforce negative ideas. It is tempting to dismiss this as the internet being the internet, but what actually reveals is a larger problem. How certain Asian identities are minimized into being bad while others are being idolized. These stereotypes feed into the idea that some cultures are more cooler and acceptable than others. There's another perspective about these stereotypes, and this regards Asians from SoCal, and basically these memes paint a picture about how Asians are driving around in a modded Lexus and wearing an Essentials hoodie and only listening to artists like Keshi.
How to dress like a SoCal Asian. First, we have the Uniqlo Arizona tee. I can already feel the boba cravings. Next, get any pair of baggy denim. These are from Discontinued. Last but not least, first round pick of the draft, the Essentials hoodie. Damn. Hashtag Valorant, hashtag Keshi, hashtag boba.
Boba and back shots? Boba and back shots?
I know a spot. I know a spot.
Pass the vape. Pass the vape.
Keshi's so underground. Keshi's so underground.
This is essential. This is essential.
You trying to go seaside? You trying to go to seaside?
Then there's a rise of Asian baby girl culture, or ABG for short, which has made Asian women the target of fetishization. They're often seen as glamorous, hypersexualized, and tied to a specific style of fashion, and have certain makeup, and have a certain attitude. This is more than just like a meme or like a trend. It's also starting to influence dating culture as well, where these AVG and SoCal Asian memes have pushed this idea where like there has to be this like certain formulaic type of attraction that your relationship has to be, or like guys wanting their girlfriends to look like an ABG. There's also this meme about how people go to this bakery in South California. It's called Seaside Bakery, and people look for ABGs there, I guess, and it really shows how it's influenced dating culture.
So where are you gonna take me?
I'm thinking seaside.
Seaside? Seaside?
That's
Do you know how
good.
many times I've been to seaside this week? Do you think all your bitches are seaside?
In these stereotypes, looking for a specific type that fits these narrow surface level expectations, instead of real connections, is about meeting an ideal type that has been shaped by these memes, leading to shallow and superficial views on dating and attraction. Although this is largely in humor, these memes, these jokes are just a part of a larger pattern of naming and stereotyping, and this just reduces the image of various Asian subcultures. Rather than seeing the variation within Asian cultures, the internet prefers to reduce cultural complexity with either an aesthetic or just a joke. The TikTok ban. Many of you know what TikTok is, and you know about how this app enabled the worldwide spread of Asian culture and media and trends. And it also became a battleground for politics. About the TikTok ban, the government is pulling the data security card and that TikTok is stealing all of our data, but some critics argue that targeting the Chinese-owned TikTok reveals a deeper issue on how Western values control what is accepted and what is demonized about Asian culture. This bias about the demonizing of Asian culture was manifested in a US congressional hearing where TikTok CEO Shou Zi Chu was grilled repeatedly with inquiries about the app's ties to the Chinese government.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation
I'm
in
asking-
Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in
Do you
Singapore.
have any other passports from any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm
Okay.
Singaporean.
Let me ask you.
This misperception isn't just an innocent mistake, it's part of a bigger pattern. While anime and K-pop are widely celebrated, things related to China often get treated with a lot of suspicion. Just look at the TikTok hearings, where US politicians called the app a security threat, while other Western tech companies also do the same. It's such a clear example of how Westerners decide which parts of Asian culture are okay to demonize. It's almost like there's this control over what's acceptable from Asia and what's not. How do we make sure that the rise of Asian culture does not result in romanticization or stereotyping? Cultural appreciation goes beyond just following media trends. It's about taking time to understand the history, engaging with locals, and trying to see the bigger picture without jumping to conclusions. Pop culture can be a good starting point, but it should only open the door to deeper understanding. It's really important to think about how cultures are packaged and sold in the media, because when we challenge simple stereotypes and avoid turning cultures into easy meme-ready versions of themselves, we can truly appreciate them in a more respectful way. By looking beyond the surface and accepting the full range of cultural forms, we can enrich our own awareness and help create a more open global conversation. In the internet age where trends catch on and fade out overnight, there is this necessity to convert this passive admiration into actual cultural engagement.